Okay, third video. After having made the intuitive raising of your energy, we went into the parasites, how to remove that. We went into some gray technology and we went into some serum B technology, and from that my energy got a little bit hostile, which means, okay, I set that statement out there is now built into my energy system that this is what they will get. If they work with me, they will only get death. Death, death, evaporation, nothing good will come of it. From that, built now into your whole energy system, having that coding, you then take control. You then say, okay, I now created a statement in my field, and from that I will begin reconstructing myself. I will begin taking control of my energy system. This is my energy system now. I'm the only one that will create life from it. I'm the only one that will thrive from it. I'm the only one that will restore and rebuild myself. Nobody else can tap into me. Nobody else can do a joint evolution with me. Nobody can ride on my back and get the work I'm doing. This is solely for my energy system, my template and my diet. And this is not service to self. This is a kind of claiming your jurisdiction. Because if you get your template up and working correctly and cleanse it out, you will begin producing so much light that it will lift up our entire energy system. So you're not doing it because you're selfish and you're afraid or you're self-protecting. You're doing it with the knowledge that you need to seal off, you need to separate your energy system from the other races so you can get the energy up and running to such a degree that you will begin to emit light, and that will affect the grid, and that will affect our planet, and that will lift us all up. So each and one of us have to take our own burden, our cross on our shoulders, literally the cross, which you are learning about in the whole class material of the 4 races that were here and have had projects here. You're taking on that cross to you in the form of regenerating yourself, getting out of the reverse program, so you can kind of go, when you work through the reverse program, get up to the point where you turn around, and instead of being controlled by the reverse program, you're now in control of it, where you cleanse out and transform, either by evaporating these genetics, because most of these races are gone, so whatever is there in you is literally just to be evaporated, no need to work further with it. Or you can begin from that, cleansing out these genetics and technologies and parasites, begin to restore and recreate your original template. And that means the one from the first run through, or from the first human projects of the first run through. So it's all a matter of, when you go through all these cleansing levels and all this horrible cleansing work, is a matter of you getting out of the reversal, so you turn around and begin reconstructing and rebuilding yourself. And this is why you sometimes need to make some pretty severe claims that are going kind of a little bit against your good human heart, but that's just a separation. And that separation is to ensure that your field is your own, so whatever you're doing will lift your template, get it back to the original setting, and from that begin literally sparking out light that will heal and repair the grid and the planet and the solar system and the construction of all of it, and literally get the original programs running again, up and running. So that's the main focus of your energy work. Whatever project you came here to be part of, whatever project your genetics have been part of, and your template has been part of, it's all about getting it out of the reversal, getting it to the original program, so we can get this planet up and running again, get the system back online on the right levels, and not the reversed ones where we're being used and exploited, but actually go out of the reversal where we are creating and producing and healing and restoring ourselves and everything around us. This is not to be taken as me, myself, and I, because you need to do this work in kind of collaboration with people around you. Every person that comes your way is an opportunity to heal yourself and restore yourself. Every person that has a package, which is a holographic inserted program or parasite or technology or whatever they have got, if they affect you, you feel, again, as I talked about the emotions in the previous video, where does this affect me? Where does this person affect me? What has been brought to my attention by this person? What has jumped from that person to me? Which means I either have similar kind of energy, or I got some genetics that corresponds to that kind of thing that's in that other person, and that's why it can replicate into me. Because remember, this body is built upon basic primitive replication technology or energies, which allows us to give birth to children and create children, both male and female. So that is kind of what's going on here. And that replication was a brilliant idea from the Venusians, which would then actually amplify the program and in each other. So the original version of the flame codes were to amplify each other, which I've talked about. But because of the issues we've got down here, and the reversal and the inserted programs and all these kind of things from the negative alien agenda, this replication has now gone out of hand and are now replicating the distortions and not the amplifications. So this is again a matter of taking control of your own body. So turning a little bit inwards does not mean you reject everything around you, that you kind of confine yourself in solitude. That's not what it's about. It's not about this is my progression and only my progression. Until I have progressed, I will not work with anybody else. I will not do anything with anybody else. I will not help anybody else. That's not what it's about. It's about understanding that you're part of a system, that it kind of needs to go back online on the right levels. And the only way that you can do that is if you actively participate in yourself and the energies around you and in other humans, not cleansing out their stuff, but whatever they're mirroring to you, you are cleansing out in yourself. And from that, you backtrack through the flame codes, what is mirrored into you, into all levels of your aura, of your own field, as I taught you in the previous video. And eventually, when you've cleansed out your own field and your heart field works well, you can literally take whatever's coming into your field as an access point to clearing out the program as well. So you can, from your own field is a representation of that part of the program your template was put into. So that's very important information. Your template and your genetics are a representation of the overall program on the level you were inserted into the program with. So if you cleanse out your template and your energies and get them up and running correctly, you can, from your template and from your field, go into the overall program and affect it and heal it and restore it into its original purpose. The same goes with all of your distortion energies and all the technologies and things you've got in you. You can literally destroy the program with it as well, and this is what has happened. Because we have got so contaminated, our representative field has now become the distortion field that is taking out the program. So this is our responsibility. If every human on this planet cleansed out their own template and their own field, there would be no distortions on this planet whatsoever. Everything would be reset right away. So this is your responsibility. That is also why I kind of created the idea of separating you a little bit until you got control of your own sphere. You do this separation just a little bit, so you're not contaminating further while you're working through your levels. So that was the division I did in the previous video. Kind of protecting the program, as well as protecting yourself and protecting whatever's going on in your field not to be amplified into the system due to the flame codes. Because quite a lot of your flame codes are reversed and are now, instead of beautifully golden, they are now kind of darkish and look like dark snakes. Or the double snake, which you kind of got with the medical symbol, and these kind of things. It's a representation of distorted flame codes. So that is a kind of energy you need to work with. And when I do this kind of circular movement of pulling in energy, it's actually working with the spiral movement of the flame codes. Because the flame codes work in spirals. They are not sequenced like that in a kind of grid. Actually, they're kind of swirling around the spiral movement, and consciousness on that level goes with the spiral movement. The esoteric teachings tells us that you go from the linear way of thinking in this reality, and the first step of developing your flame code consciousness is to learn to work in the spiral movement. You can either pull in energy from your template, from yourself, from your core level, that way, or you can actually kind of put energy up. But that's kind of lifting energies up from a lower level to a higher level so you can work with it, but don't do that right now. So the swirling kind of energy is the flame codes. Stirs up the flame codes, sets them in motion. So that's kind of the circular thing, and the whole kind of helix, as I said, is the false representation of duality and the reverse program, or whatever you want to call it. So don't work with that one. Just work with the flame codes, as in kind of, I can't see them, but I feel them. So just know that if you work with a template or a specific field, you can get the energies running in that field by making that circular movement. So again, we have had the emotional access point, so now we're going to the next one where we go in a little bit deeper, and this is kind of where we work with the mental field. Because you've kind of got a double swirling going on into a mental field and down to your heart vortex or your heart field. And that kind of goes there. It kind of goes a little bit like this. And that's a swirling point that kind of goes in. This is part of the original human template. And those of us who've got an ancient template, we still merge into the human template. So this still applies to us in the Venusian type of energy. That kind of goes with that one. And then it kind of goes from the heart field and that one into the physical level. So higher level energies are whirled in this way, transformed in the heart, and then goes out into the physical form with the other type of energy. And you see the cone kind of structure is the distorted Syrian B, even though you also have the original ones from the Venusians, the double, but this is kind of the opposite. That is kind of energies moving. So this is not about programming, this is about how the flame codes work in your template. This is only for the human template, this is only for this one. Eventually when you get deeper and you get out of that swirling kind of energy, the snake swirling kind of energy, then that's where you kind of leave the Venusian template, and you will discover that the templates you got behind, wherever system they come from, they will have their own energetic movement, own energetic structure, own energetic patterns, and you will work with however your fields are supposed to be constructed from your heart field. This is just a matter of the first step of the heart field. When kind of giving it energy, you can do that. And from that, kind of go in and giving it energy to the energies below the heart. And the energies below the heart are very important to cleanse out. And this is where you use this pulling in of energy, putting it into your heart field that's now working correctly, amplifying the whole intention of, okay, this is where I cleanse out the energies below my heart. And the energies below my heart are the physical ones. These goes with the human structure, the human ego structure. These goes with sexuality, and these goes with the physical form, which is kind of bridged into the root chakra. I'm just saying the root chakra because that's the area. That down there in the root, there's typically the reversed snake, and that's a program. The reversed snake, that is the Kundalini snake, that's the reversed version of the original Venusian flame code energies. And that is why we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do any movement about it whatsoever, but it's called a Kundalini awakening, as something that rises up. That is not what you're supposed to do. You pull in energies from above into your heart and down into the physical, taking control of the physical. If you do it the other way around, you're rising up the physical energies to contaminate your heart field and contaminate the high level of awareness. So that's not what you're doing. You're pushing it down. There is no snake rising up here. We don't want that snake to rise up. We'll just work with cleansing out the physical energies, using the energies of our heart to take control of ourselves, and in that ensuring that the false mitochondria reverse program energy provider will not be able to give energy to frequencies that will then work with the chakra system, that will then, with a frequency system, that will then eventually activate the Kundalini snake, because we don't want that. That's the Naga teachings of the distorted brotherhoods. Okay, so that's the distorted snake. Now we need to work with the correct snake. Correct snake is consciousness. Has nothing to do with an entity, has nothing to do with energy. It's consciousness. Flame codes are energy coded with consciousness. And that consciousness is what you need to get back. That consciousness is information, and it goes with this field. And it's the information of knowing that you can restore and you can heal the physical template that is behind your physical form. The first step of doing that is actually pulling in that kind of diverse, complex, paradoxical, dissonance type of flame codes that were the original ones in the human projects. As I said, each human would have a genetic structure. Each physical form would have a genetic structure that would be able to express and unfold the diversity of knowledge of the template. So that means that the fractal replication energies that are kind of the reversal of the original energies, getting it stuck through the snake programs, getting it stuck as a kind of erect snake frozen in time, we have to scatter that one and get that out of us, get the fractal energies out. And that's why you need to work with the whole kind of what I'm trying to teach you, and which really distresses many of you, because I'm jumping around and then I'm talking here and there, and then I'm not linear, and then I expand, and then I pull away, and then I do all sorts of weird stuff that is a little bit chaotic, and your brain kind of hurts when you try to follow up on these kind of things. But it's actually because I'm using the world spiral type of consciousness that is going in mysterious ways. Literally, that's where that saying comes from, which would then later on twist it into something else. So that's again twisted. So it's the mysterious ways of the consciousness, which comes from your template, all depending on what level you're supposed to develop. So each day has its own sequence. Each day has its own possibility for you to develop your real genetics, how they're supposed to look, and not these constructed Syrian B, artificial helix, blah 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 programming, or the whole kind of, not to say anything bad about Bruce Lipton or anything, but the whole idea that your emotions code your DNA is correct, but you need to get out of that as well by removing the parasites and the frequency energies, because it's not your emotions that's supposed to code your DNA. It's not your belief systems that are to control your DNA. You're not to create new belief systems thinking that you can recode your DNA, which you can, but you're actually only recoding the mitochondria, which is part of the reverse program. So you need to get to the right understanding where information, what you need to recode your full DNA cellular structure with, is not what you think is right for you, but what comes from here. And that information is sometimes not possible to be put into word. So this is again, when you do the restoring work, you just go with what you get from within. And that's not words. That's not information in words and these kind of things, because these are typically inserted programs put there to block you from doing the correct type of energy work. So this is again, take the head, put it on a shelf, do not use your brain. When you do this energy work, you do not use your brain and your human way of processing information. You feel, you sense, and this is why you need to cleanse out the parasites and your human emotions, so you can feel energy. Feel, use your intuition. And that one is strengthening your intuition, the original ways that your template and your physical form was supposed to work. So when I say go in and repair your DNA, there are no general techniques. There cannot be given any general techniques, because your template is unique, your DNA is unique, and your experiences are unique for you. So this is again where you learn to work with the heart, because the heart will give you the information of how to restore your DNA into the right consciousness level, and in that into the correct level of the flame codes, getting them out of the reverse distorted version, which is the rising of the snake from above and up, into the from below and up into the above and down, literally pulling in the correct type of energy that sets your whole system into a dynamic state, not sequencing, not grid work, but dynamic, chaotic, unpredictable, linking up to different levels of your template. You never know which one is going to be in play, because that has to adapt to whatever energies you come in contact with, whatever humans you come in contact with. Will pull that level forth in you so you can work with it, and you will know intuitively how to work with it, how to process that information. You feel it as a kind of energy draining or shift in your mood, or an energetic attack, or you feel your heart is being squeezed, or you feel like a pressure on your back, all sorts of weird sensations. And these are all packages that you get from other people, and this is something we have to say, yay, clapping our little hands, as we said in Denmark, because that is showing you what you need to cleanse out. So this is again a matter of why you can't isolate yourself. You cannot just go in your house and protect yourself there forever. You have to go out from time to time until you actually get to the full energetic realities. And there you will get your further work from these inner realities that will teach you more about your templates and what you need to cleanse out. Because the inner realities you're sensing are actually you're accessing your different levels of your template, which then expands out and works with the inner realities and what you need to cleanse out there. But you still have to, even though you get to that level, which I'm working on now, I'm still going out in the world, I'm still being out there, but I'm being less and less affected by things that are out there, because I got more and more control of my aura and my mind field, which are being more and more permeated through the real energies of my template, which are the spiral, chaotic, non-linear, nonsense, no sense, as in kind of sense is a linear, logical thinking. That's not what we're going for. We're going for full perception of chaos, of energy, what's there, and adjusting to it. And this is where I keep saying that I really like Indiana Jones, because he's very skilled. He's a professor, so he's got the all linear thing in order. He's kind of got his life in order, but sometimes he goes on adventure. When he does that, he shifts personality, and he just puts himself into all sorts of ridiculous situations. But he's not processing what to do. He just knows what to do. He just knows how to respond intuitively and instinctually. He just responds right away and knows exactly what to do. And that is the mindset you have to have when you do energy work. You are entrusting yourself so much in your core consciousness, knowing that you have got it all, that you are ready and eager and receptive and all up in front to whatever will come your way. So that's kind of the whirling, chaotic consciousness that goes with the original intrinsic, beautiful, not replicating as in the same pattern, but replicating in a kind of what you would call, if you say 2 plus 2 gives 4, no, the original template would say 2 plus 2 gives 6 or 10 or 8, all depending on what type of genetic structure you had. So it would unfold into threefold, tenfold, or whatever types of energy patterns, all depending on how strong the consciousness were and how much you would amplify and connect to the flame codes. So that was the original idea. Okay, some of you might have heard my stomach giving a little bit of noise here, so I will go down and eat, and then I will come up and continue this little marathon videos. Okay, thank you.